pro engineering here, and I finally made it to the track. I've got my pit crew, and I've also got the truck ready to go. So what you can see here is I've got the GoPro attached to the back, so you'll be able to see the suspension operation. Unfortunately, adding half a pound to the back of the truck meant I had to add half a pound to the front of the truck. So I've got this whole pack of batteries here that's just there to weigh the front of the truck down. This means overall the truck has gained a little over a pound. Okay, so we're looking at about 5 pounds, 5 ounces here for this whole setup. I'm going to do a couple of passes with the GoPro attached at the back, and then I'm going to pull that off and actually do some jumping, because I think it's going to be really heavy with the GoPro on the back. And I'm not too concerned about the chassis. I'm more concerned about you see that the condition of the body with all these metal plates holding it together. It's not a very good shell anymore, so I don't want to destroy it. Once I do that, we'll start taking some serious air, and I'll get some nice slow-mo shots of the truck landing. You can also see I've got the pumpkin. Oh yes, I know you like that one. I've got the pumpkin, and I've got the Hornet here as well, so maybe we'll get some of that in there also. Let's go ahead and take it on the track. Alright, so we've done quite a few laps here now, and I have to say we've got some problems. So you look at the suspension, you might be thinking, oh no, something broke. Actually, the tire has come off, so I mean that's a plus. And then another major problem, unfortunately, the hot glue has also come off. Other than that, the suspension is absolutely awesome. It's held up perfectly. So we'll go home and launch this thing a little higher into the air and hopefully have the same results.
stop doing the thing you're doing. My pulse is racing, you're in my head. I'll be an old man big for my time. A year from now you'll walk the aisle. Did I miss my chance? Did I have one then? What happened that night? Did I get scared? Did I miss my chance? Did I have one then? What happened that night? Did I run? You should be evil or maybe neurotic, vapid and shallow, cold to the core. Then your charms would bounce right off me like all the others I never knew. Did I miss my chance? Did I have one then? What happened that night? Did I get scared? Did I miss my chance? Did I have one then? What happened that night? Did I run? Your aim is perfect, you'd start a war. Why didn't I see it long before? It's not your fault, it's who you are, and torture's better than nothing at all. I'll put you in my Hall of Fame, my high fidelity list, my rental song. You'll just stop doing the thing you're doing, cause it's a curse to think you want me to. Did I miss my chance? Did I have one?
I hope everybody enjoyed those running videos. This truck has been a pleasure to drive. I've really enjoyed every second of it. It was really important for me to get some kind of a video of the suspension working. I apologize for the quality. I know it's kind of blurry and the lighting's not great, but that was the best I could do, or I could get out of the GoPro anyway. I think I may have been a little bit close, but you get the idea. I tried to go for a longer or some more videoed jumps and things at the track when I went there. Unfortunately, they really weren't very happy with me being on the track with a video camera. I mean, genuinely, I got in trouble. So I wasn't really able to do that. I was going to go to an outdoor track that I know of, just kind of a little hobbyist thing at a park. But I thought, I really should, show this thing launching off some massive jumps. And this is the first time I've ever been to NorCal Hobbies and not found any major jumps. I mean, it was kind of small, which is normally something that I appreciate with my older cars, but the one time I want to go there and launch this 80 feet into the air, that actually didn't happen. So that was a little unfortunate. Oh, hubcap fell. You also may be wondering why there were so few slow motion shots in front of my house like I usually do. Well, I've been launching this truck off that ramp every single night for a little over a week without any problems. Well, unfortunately, I have some bad news. Something broke. It's bound to happen. I did want to really push all of my 3D printed parts. You can see I've got that front bumper bracket. I've got the upper and lower control arms over here, not to mention the whole rear end setup. Unfortunately, there was a break. So let's take a look at that. Of course, it wasn't one of my pieces, but something did break. Servo horn snapped, and I do not have any more of these, so I couldn't replace it. And then by the time I was kind of found something that would have worked, it was dark. Overall, the thing ran just fantastic, and I did also want to mention that we do have a solution now for the battery retainer. As you saw with the original installation, this plate here at the bottom no longer opens. It's actually a rigid member. To resolve this, I made something pretty simple. It's not very elegant, but it works. Let's take a look at it. These are the original pieces that would hold the battery, and this would be for an early style ORV, and this one is from a King Blackfoot. And you would this would go right here like the other one on the other side does. I had some neat ideas about like a little spring mechanism that would like pull it up. You'd like twist it up, pull the battery out and snap down. Like, that'd be really cool. And I'm looking for all these special pieces of hardware that you'd have to buy. And ultimately, some of the hardware was costing like $7 or $8 a screw. And I thought, you know what, this is ridiculous. Let's just go old school and make it simple. So what we've done is we've taken this concept and we've made these two pieces here. This will screw to the chassis. Let's put it on. You're going to take the existing hardware that you pulled off. These are M4 self-tapping screw. Ooh, let's pull that out. M4 self-tapping screws. So let's go ahead and start that. You always want to back thread these things, or at least get them started with your fingers, because you do not want to strip them. What they do is they actually have a little cup on the back here that will snap onto the chassis just to give it a little more rigidity. Make sure that when you do this, you don't overstress these screws and strip out your chassis. That's not a great thing to do. So we'll just put it on until they stop. There we go. Okay, stopped is good to go. So this doesn't look like it's really going to retain anything. As you can see, battery will just slide right in. However, there's a secondary piece here, which, as you can see, I tried to keep the same basic appearance as the stock one, so it does have that original look. This is a prototype, that's why it's glossy. This is actually the incorrect material. I also wanted to mention that if you have a frog, you will be able to use this still. Here's your antenna. Put it in the exact same way you would with a frog. Put it in there, put your washer and screw, and you're good to go. There you are. I'm going to install the battery. And then this goes right on top of it, like so. You've got these body pin holes right here. Pull this out, you can kind of see it. That landed on my foot, just so you know. Right there. So these body pin holes right here. You want to drill those out with a 1.5 millimeter drill bit. They'll probably come plugged from Shapeways, so you want to address that before you install it. And once that's installed, we'll push this right over. I'm going to put one body pin right here, aiming downward. There we go. And the other one right here. And there we have it. You know, it's not the most elegant thing in the world, but it's durable and it's going to work. Secondly, I also made this stick out a little bit more. It's partially a result of the geometry and partially a result that a lot of LiPo batteries tend to be a little bit longer than 7.2 nickel metal hydride and NiCad batteries, and this will help you to fit those in there. If you find your battery is sliding a little bit back side to side, like so, it's got about 6 millimeters here or so. You want to put a little bit of foam, and this is regardless of this upgrade on this truck or your standard ORV or any other car. You want to make sure that your batteries are secured. So just very quickly, let's just take a look at all the other parts here. You can see that the upper and lower control arms survived beautifully. Same with the front bumper mount. The rear suspension is just, you know, in great shape. A little bit dirty now, unfortunately. I'm going to give it a bit of a bath. Okay. Otherwise, everything really held in beautifully. There was, you know, absolutely, I mean, you can see it when you actually get it if you do choose to get one here. But the transmission with this brace installed is absolutely immobile. It's completely rigid. Another reminder, the shocks that go on the back must be 80 millimeters or less from center to center of the shock mounting locations. Oftentimes you'll buy a shock on eBay and it'll say 80 millimeters. But in many cases, it'll be referring to the outer point and the outer point up here. And that would mean it's too short at that point. So make sure that you get one from that's a 80 to 80 center to center, or smaller, probably between 75 and 80 would be excellent. Oh, I should probably mention this as well. I've got the CVA, the constant velocity axle, out of the Monster Beetle or Blackfoot on the left. And on the right, I have the dog bone out of the Frog and Brat re-release. I found no issue with either. I really tried to land as crooked as I possibly could to try and see if I had any kind of deflection or play, and this thing was completely solid. After this thorough testing, I am very proud to say that these products are now available for purchase on Shapeways. If you go to my Shapeways store, there will be a shop section entitled ORV. All of the components on this vehicle, specific to the ORV as a whole, will be in that particular room. There are 4 separate components here that will need to be purchased to get the entire set. Let me go over those very quickly. Component number 1, probably the most important piece, and I'm going to flash the part numbers on the screen as we talk about this, is the main bulkhead. That is the shock tower and the brace underneath, as well as this rear panel, which again is compatible with the Monster Beetle rear post. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and install that right now so you can see that. And there's the rear panel for the Monster Beetle. So you can see that it does fit in the exact same location where the Monster Beetle one would. So you're not going to lose this if you do have a Monster Beetle. Secondly, you're going to need the arms. I mentioned before that these have been separated for cost. These are actually cheaper buying them separately. Secondly, it'll allow you to actually pick multiple colors. So you can see that I do have the base in black, and then you can pick an accent color for the arms and the uprights. The arms and uprights are called the ORV double wishbone arms and uprights, or I think arms and hubs. They are going to come with both arms, both hubs, as well as both of the diff compression spacers. The arms and the hubs are also available independently of each other. So these will come as 6 pieces all held together with one sprue. But let's say you break or damage one of the arms or one of the hubs, you can buy them individually. Also, the left and the right hubs are identical. Same with the left and the right arm. You would just flip them around and you'd have the correct arms. So there's no left or right. The third item that has to be purchased is the ORV Chassis Brace, and that is this piece right here. This does take the place of the factory door and will bolt in place here. You can review the video that covers all of these pieces here and the installation and what hardware you would need. In fact, I recommend that you do that prior to any kind of purchase just to make sure that you have an informed decision to make. It is possible that you do not need this. Maybe you want to take the stock one and somehow reinforce it or add some supports or bracing back here. You're welcome to do that. I just want to tell you that this piece here is critical for the operation of the suspension and the stability of the chassis. Without a proper brace, you will break the chassis post here at the top. So please, if you do not wish to purchase this, you want to update or modify yours, that's fine. Just be very, very careful and make sure that this has absolutely no play at all. The fourth piece is the battery access door that we saw earlier. The cool part is this battery access door, as well as this brace here, can be installed on any ORV. You actually don't need to have this suspension to use these pieces. It's a good reinforcement for the chassis. And this piece here is, again, it's a prototype, and they are all available in many, many colors. As you can see here, there are some additional 3D printed parts that I haven't covered on this yet. I'm going to. I just had to test out the suspension components first, and then we can talk about those. Just a couple of disclaimers before we go. I do not have my Monster Beetle with me. I do not own a Lancia Rally, and I also do not have my Frog with me. So clearances on all of these cars are unknown. However, I know it's going to fit the Monster Beetle. There's no way this is not going to fit. All the geometry is spot on. The Beetle sits way up here, so just letting you know that although I don't have the Beetle with me, I know it's going to fit the Beetle. The Lancia Rally, again, I'm almost positive it's going to fit, but I know that the back end cuts off kind of short, so I just want to give you a heads up. If you wanted to use this and the Lancia Rally, I can't answer that. The Frog is my main concern. All I have of the Frog is the shell over here, but I actually don't have the rest of the car to try it on. And my concern is that, or is actually where the motor hits the body over here. Okay, so this notch over here shows me that the motor is going to fit in very nicely. And my plan originally was to make sure that the back of this body tucked in right inside here. It does fit in there. However, you are going to have to notch the corners here to clear the shock absorbers. To move the shock tower back would have been far too much material and far too costly. So if you are going to mount a frog body, you're going to have to notch the back of the body here. You see these wing mounts here. I don't like them. I didn't like them on the Hornet, and I don't like them on the Frog. You see these holes. Can you see there's a hole there and a hole there? Yeah, you might want to stay tuned. I'm not done with the Frog yet. I would love to see some photos or videos of you driving these things around and jumping them and, you know, just get some of your feedback. I also would love to see some of the colors you pick out. I really wanted to get a Bush Devil chassis on this and kind of go all blue. That didn't necessarily work out, but that was the original plan. Maybe somebody out there does have that blue Bush Devil chassis and you are going to go all blue. Hey man, I'd love to see that. So please let me know, send some photos and some videos. I'd like to thank everybody for watching and all of the support you've been giving me. This particular build here has been quite popular, and I've enjoyed doing it. I think people, when they enjoy some of the things that you're doing to these older cars and kind of are vocal about it, it gets me a little fired up. This is not going to be the only insanity that I invoke upon the older Tamiyas. If anybody wants to see a double wishbone Hornet, oh, that's coming up. Oh, it is. And then I've got a massive game changer for the SRB Sand Scorcher car. Only the Sand Scorcher. It's a particular upgrade I'm building for only the Beetle version, but that's going to be absolutely remarkable. And no, I'm not messing with the suspension on that. So I know I suddenly heard someone go, "What are you doing?" No, I'm not. Good luck with the suspension installation. You know, for me, it was pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't force anything, and have a good time with the stuff. The nylon is super durable, but remember, it's going to have its breaking point. So if you're concerned that it's going to break, you want to launch it off the roof of your barn, maybe you shouldn't buy these then. Okay, maybe that's a little much. You want to just, you know, drive it around a track or your backyard or your front yard or wherever. You know, this is going to be a really good setup. I hope you also enjoyed this body here. I genuinely do not own a Lexan body for these anymore. I just don't. So this poor thing, man, this thing's been in a bin for years. And finally I'm like, screw it. Let's just give it some sanding, give it a coat of paint. And then I sanded it, and I think you can tell that came out pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Kind of a neat patina on it. I actually didn't do all these coats. It's a kind of a long story. Please subscribe. As I mentioned, a lot of craziness coming up. Add me on Facebook as well as Instagram, and Pro Engineering on both, where I post all the time. And you can get some real-time updates on what nonsense I'm working on at that time of night. And please check out Blue Pinto. They allow me to use their songs on my videos. Great group. We will see you next time.